My name is Eliza Ridgway. I'm an associate editor and a reporter at the Los Altos Town Crier. I learned about National Novel Writing Month in the summer of 2007 from my sister, who's a writer, and she and I were spending some time together that summer. She was actually working for me here as an intern, and she mentioned the project, how it worked, and we decided that we should both try to do projects in November 2007 and keep each other company.
I heard about it, I think I saw it on the web. I can't remember where exactly, but on the web, and so I looked into it, and that particular year I didn't do it, but the following year I did, which was last year. So this is my second year of doing it.
I think I found out about National Novel Writing Month on a website. Like, I was just coming across it and I saw an ad for it and I clicked and I was like, whoa, this is awesome.
But by the end of October, I had decided that I wanted to write a young adult novel. I wanted it to be modeled somewhat in the style of Robin McKinley and some of the YA fantasy writers who do a world creation based on the European fairy tale model, because that's something I really enjoyed reading.
I didn't even think about the fact that it was coming up until it was November 1st. And then I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna write, I'm just gonna bust out this novel. And I didn't have any plan for it, and I got through the intro, and then as I was going, I started to sketch out sort of a plot a little bit, but it didn't really end up working out.
I decided I really wanted to work on plotting, so I had an idea of a plot, and so I had some kind of an outline.
Oh my goodness, remembering November 1st from 2007 is hard. As I recall, I wanted to start at the beginning, which was a challenge for me because I hadn't really figured out what my opening scene would be. But I did. I started more or less with what became the first sentence of the novel and went from there.
I would set myself a time during the day. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna work on this right now. But it's really difficult to do while you're in school because you have your homework and you have other obligations, and it would be a lot easier if you just had that month, like completely cleared.
Yeah, I was actually this year feeling a little overwhelmed because I thought, oh, I knew I had other things going on that month that I would need to participate in, and I wasn't sure I'd be able to do the whole novel.
The first week in 2008, there was uncertainty because I didn't know when I would work, where I would work, how fast I would be able to write. I knew that I had to write about 1,700 words a day, but I didn't know what that would mean in terms of whether my wrists would get sore, whether it would take me hours, whether I would need constant breaks, whether I could bang it out. I didn't know if I wanted to write in silence or with music. I didn't know if I wanted to write after hours at work at my desk or at home or at a friend's house or in a coffee shop. So I tried all of those things, tried writing at different times of day. It was chaotic and exciting.
In the first week I was really excited because I had this new project that I was working on, and I was like, I don't know where the story's going to go. I was so excited about whether or not I was going to write something good, something that I liked, that I could go back and revise and maybe actually submit somewhere. I was very excited about that prospect.
After my failure to complete the novel in 2007, I decided that I wanted to analyze what hadn't worked for me, what had been too ambitious, and to try to find an idea for this year that I thought I could accomplish. When I fizzled out last year, in approximately the third week when I realized that I just wasn't going to make my ending, I realized that my plot had been too intricate. It had been I had been too obsessive with my goals, and that I had these grand ideas for what I wanted to fit in, and that really couldn't be done in a month.
So I knew I was going to be losing some days, so I thought, oh boy, what have I taken on too much? But I sat down and did it anyway.
As time passed, I sort of realized that I had no perspective of the amount of work that it was going to take. And so as time passed and I realized how much I had written as compared to how much I needed to have written by the end of the month, I got very discouraged.
And I was like, oh my God, how am I going to finish this thing? And I would go for walks and talk to people and go, okay, this is where he's at, and what could, sort of think it through as I was walking, and then go back and sit down and write it out.
I had some grave concerns from approximately the first day because I had not expected it to be this difficult. I write pretty much every day professionally. I'm verbose. I've been accused of being prolixic. I thought that the one problem I wouldn't have would be word count production. But I found that in part because I was writing every day for work, I would sometimes come home, feel fatigued, and not feel as though I had many more words in me. Every minute it was just trying to not stop myself was what I had to fight against.
I did hit a wall where I didn't know, what am I going to do at this point? And I didn't experience that the first year. I just kept writing. I didn't have time for writer's block. I just plowed through, and just stuff came and the characters took over.
I didn't really sit down and think about it. I wasn't, I didn't just quit one day. It was sort of just a buildup of things that I had to do, and there was one day where I didn't write, and then the next day I realized that I'd missed it, and I thought about it, so I went and I tried to write a little bit, but at that point I was feeling really discouraged and not really connected to my story anymore, and so that made that day more difficult, and so then the next time I tried to sit down to do it, I was even less connected, and I just sort of fell out of the project.
In 2008, in the middle of the month, felt very different because by the middle of the month I had realized that I was going to win, that it was going to work unless something very unexpected happened. I had found much more of a rhythm. I was writing a lot faster every day, so my word count was climbing much more steadily. I had a graph plotted of my word count, and it felt really good to see that, that my projected line of the perfect goals every day, I was either coming close to or exceeding every day in terms of the real world word count that I was producing. So I had a lot of encouragement and enthusiasm of knowing that if I just kept doing everything that I was doing, I would win. And what I was doing felt good. It wasn't hard, it was easy, it wasn't taking a toll. I knew that I would be able to sustain it. And I was also happy about where the story was going too.
I guess it didn't seem so huge when I first started, but as I started doing it, I went, my God, this is a lot of words. And when I finished, it was, I thought, gosh, if I can do this, I can do anything. Because it was a challenge to myself to get up every day and sit down and, and come home every night and sit down and write and not get all these excuses that can happen.
The final scene, which I wrote on I think the very last day, that day was the day I wrote the most words of any day. I wrote some ridiculous number of words, 6,000 words, something like that. I just couldn't stop, and it was the fastest I'd ever written also. And it was a little bit rough, but it wasn't that rough. I just really had a fire lit under me, which was a pleasant surprise. It was a great way to end, especially after all of the defeatism of the year before.
And I just jumped up and down and screamed, I got a winner! So that was exciting. And then I decided I would put it away for a few weeks and then go back and look at it and decide whether it was worth a rewrite, and if it was, to rewrite it and try to get it out to an agent.
I did a sort of Control-A mass select of this entire Word document. I'd had to flow all of my different scenes, which I'd written in separate documents, into one big document, which was interesting to see together for the first time, although it was largely out of order and chaotic. And I pasted it onto the website and hit send quite a few hours before midnight. I guess might have been as early as 8 in the evening. And I didn't really want to stop after that, so I think I might have kept fooling around and writing a little bit more.
My mother was sending me care packages of food every week because I thought I'm not going to have time to go out and grocery shop or anything, and at the end you go out and you kind of go, oh my God, there's a world out here.
I would definitely schedule better. I would plan so that I didn't have any obligations for that month, so I knew that I would have the time to work on it.
I think that we all have more creativity than we need. The challenge is just to find a way to put it down on the page without stopping and giving up.